Think of a lawyer living in New York. They earn approximately $380,000 per year. Even this single sentence means a lot to many people, because there is a widespread belief in society. If someone makes that much money, then all their financial problems must be solved. From the outside, this person truly appears to be living a very comfortable life. They live in a nice apartment in Manhattan, own a luxury car, send their children to private schools, go on vacations, eat at restaurants, and overall seem to be living a successful life. But the unseen side is often very different, because that same lawyer might not even have $5,000 available in liquid cash for an unexpected situation. That may sound strange, because people automatically associate high income with financial security. But in real life, this is not always the case. When an unexpected medical expense, urgent home repair, tax bill, or simple financial emergency arises, this person may have to rely on credit cards or liquidate investments. In other words, there is a serious gap between perceived financial strength and real financial resilience. And this situation is far more common than most people think. 2025 Goldman Sachs data clearly highlights this reality. Approximately 41% of individuals earning between $300,000 and $500,000 per year report living paycheck to paycheck. At first glance, this seems contradictory, because living paycheck to paycheck is usually associated with low-income earners. However, the data shows otherwise. Even more surprisingly, around 40% of those earning over $500,000 report the same issue. This naturally raises an important question. If high income does not guarantee financial security, then what does? Most people hold a very strong assumption. If I earn more, I will be more comfortable. If I earn more, my stress will decrease. If I earn more, I will achieve financial freedom. This belief feels logical, almost intuitive, but real-world data shows that this assumption is incomplete. Because as income increases, financial problems do not disappear. They simply change shape. This is where the high-income poverty trap comes in. This trap is simple in structure, but powerful in effect. As people earn more, they tend to increase their standard of living. This increase is often not a conscious decision, but rather a natural adaptation process. The human mind quickly adjusts to new income levels. At first, the changes are small: better food, more expensive habits, slightly more comfortable lifestyle choices. None of these are problematic on their own. For example, someone who used to eat out a few times a month may slowly start doing so weekly or even daily. A car that was once considered sufficient starts feeling inadequate, and a more expensive one becomes normal. A bigger home feels necessary. A better neighborhood feels required. Vacations become more luxurious. Each of these changes, individually, makes sense. The real issue is this: it is not the individual decisions, but their combined effect. When lifestyle inflation grows faster than income, the balance breaks. And this shift usually happens very slowly. People do not notice it in daily life because every step feels reasonable. No one makes a sudden financial mistake. The problem is the accumulation of small, logical decisions over many years. And one day the person looks back and asks, I earned all this money, so why do I have almost nothing saved? This is not a math problem, it is a behavior problem, because high-income individuals often do not increase their savings rate proportionally as they earn more. In many cases, their savings rate stays the same. This means income rises, spending rises, but savings remain flat or grow very slowly. Human behavior plays a powerful role here. The new lifestyle quickly becomes the normal. And once something becomes normal, stepping away from it feels like a downgrade rather than a rational decision. This creates a psychological barrier. People view income growth as progress, but lifestyle reduction as failure. This is why many high earners feel financially squeezed despite having high incomes. Another important factor is visibility and comparison. Today, people compare themselves not only with their immediate surroundings, but with the entire world. Social media intensifies this effect. People constantly see the best moments of others: vacations, cars, houses, achievements, luxury lifestyles. However, the financial reality behind these images is often unknown. This constant comparison quietly pushes people to increase their own spending, because the goal is no longer just meeting needs, but maintaining a certain perceived standard. And this fundamentally changes financial behavior. Credit card debt is one of the clearest indicators of this pattern. In 2025, total credit card debt in the United States reached $1.277 trillion. This is not only a problem for low-income individuals. High-income earners are also part of this system. However, their reason for debt is different. They are not borrowing to survive, but to maintain their lifestyle. This is a critical difference, because once a lifestyle reaches a certain level, stepping back becomes psychologically difficult. Downsizing a home feels uncomfortable. Selling a car feels like failure. Changing vacation habits feels like loss. These are no longer choices, but perceived necessities. Over time, people unknowingly fall into the fixed cost trap. Mortgage payments, car loans, private school fees, vacations, club memberships, subscriptions. All of these slowly stop being optional and become fixed parts of financial life. At that point, income is no longer about wealth building. It becomes a tool for maintaining lifestyle. True financial freedom, however, begins elsewhere. Financial freedom is not about how much you can spend. It is about how much flexibility you have. If losing income for a few months would cause your life to collapse, then you are not financially secure. You are simply maintaining an expensive system. Wealth builders behave differently. They pay themselves first. When they earn income, they first invest and save, and only then spend what remains. Most people do the opposite. They spend first and try to save whatever is left, often nothing. Over time, this difference becomes massive. Imagine two people earning the same income. One invests 30% consistently, while the other saves only 5%. At first, the difference seems small, but over 10 or 20 years, it turns into a multi-million-dollar gap, because financial outcomes are not determined by income alone, but by consistency of behavior. In the end, the truth becomes clear. Financial success is less about earning more and more about learning to keep more. Because the real question is not how much you make, but how much you keep. And that difference can completely change a person's financial future.